Happy Vlogmas, everybody. Today is December the 15th. Today is going to be a little bit different in that this is going to be a more traditional vlog, so to speak. I had to actually go into work today. Gasp. But I always go in super early before anybody else really gets there. So, and all I was there to do was drop off coworker gifts and basically clean up my office for the end of the year. I don't plan on being back. Maybe December 31st, but probably not. I will probably just wait till after the first of the year. But there were some forms and mail and stuff on my desk to pick up, and some gifts from some coworkers as well. I'll put a picture here. One of my coworkers, she knows me well enough to know that I might come in at any time just to stop in early in the morning. So she actually left me a pre-birthday gift. My birthday happens to be this month, which is both good and bad. Along with this really funny card, which I'll read the inside here in a minute. And so I did have that to pick up, as well as I think I mentioned yesterday I wanted to get some local roasted coffee to send to some friends out west. So there's a coffee shop in our lobby. So I waited long enough till they were open and went down and got me a peppermint mocha, but then also got some coffee beans as well for gifts. So, but the birthday card on the front you saw says, "Have an okay birthday." The inside saying, I would say, "Have a super spectacular, wonderful birthday," but I didn't want to put too much pressure on you. So she knows me well enough to know birthdays are not a big deal to me, but especially because they're right around Christmas. They're just usually always, as a kid, gifts are lumped in together. They're, you never get to really celebrate or have a birthday party because all your friends were on vacation, Christmas vacation, and visiting family. So birthdays were never really anything. I mean, they were a day to celebrate maybe with close family, or if you were getting together with other family, it might you might have an extra special kind of day, around Christmas. But your birthday itself was never really anything to write home about, anything spectacular, just because it was so close to the holidays and there were so many other things going on anyway. So so I do have that to look forward to, next week. So that's kind of fun. The other thing though is, because we're doing this a bit differently, I'm going to throw in some footage here really quick of my trip to the office. I actually took some video of me putting everyone's gift, basically all the female staff, admin staff, and then a few of us that work together. We all kind of get each other something. And like I said, I had mine already on my desk. That little picture I showed, the little cup of hot chocolate, was mine from one of the girls. So anyway, so I'm going to put in video here, and then when we come back, I will talk about everything else that went on today. So see you in a bit. Hey everybody, I'm at work. Just thought I'd drop in this little video. I'm dropping off all my coworkers gifts today. It'll probably be my last day in the office for the rest of the year, and I'm going to pick up some paperwork to take with me to have after the first of the year. So I thought I'd bring you along. Hopefully this video goes okay and I can edit it if I need to. But I thought I'd bring you along, and I'm going to drop everybody's stuff off. So here we go. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I'm giving away some of the ornaments, the knitted ornaments I made. These are the ones that were up through today, day 15. I actually took a picture of the one that I made for today, just so I didn't. I had a picture of it, but I'll talk about it this evening. I just didn't have the chance to do the full video before I left for work this morning, so. So the lights kind of kick on after I walk in the room. But anyway. So. Also need to go downstairs. The coffee shop that's open in our lobby, I thought opened at 6. My last trip to the office for the year. All of us come in one day a week, roughly, and do what we need to do. Our office is still dark. You can't see hers. That's okay. I just noticed the calendar on in my office is on August, so that's how much I've paid attention to that. I think the calendar on my desk is probably October. I don't know that I changed it before the year was up. Hold on a second. I can't see in here very well. Alright guys, that's it. I'm going to stop this for now. Glad you got to see part of the ride. At least the last two in the dark were, you got to see them in the light before I went into their offices. So I will edit this in, and then we'll go back to my Vlogmas self here shortly. Thanks for tagging along. Bye. See you later. Okay, so now we're back. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I tried to keep it kind of short, keep it kind of simple. It was just me basically marching up and down the office hallways, dropping stuff off in people's offices, you know, their gifts that I gave them. But you could see some of the other, what am I trying to say? Oven mitts. The other oven mitts that I made that maybe I didn't show earlier. I think the only one I really showed of the ones that I gave to my coworkers on here was the Star Wars one when I got it done. But all the rest, I think, if you got a sneak peek, if you got to see them, they're all different, first of all, but they're all ones I hadn't shown before. With the one exception, I will say the other couple of vlogs ago, I mentioned the face mask that I made, that green cat fabric, the cats with the really, you know, disgruntled looks because they're dressed up in costumes. I made that into a mitten. So you did get to see that one as an actual oven mitt. So that was kind of a treat too. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. But in addition, this also means that if you noticed, some of the balls, the Arne and Carlos Advent calendar balls that I talk about at the beginning usually of every episode, I gave as part of their gifts. I knew, because I don't put a tree up, we have cats, so this is about as much decorating as goes on in this house. I wasn't going to have a place to hang all 24 of them this year, and I thought because they were so nice, why not share them with others? So some of the ones up to today, I wanted to gift. Well, that includes today's ball. So I'm going to post a picture here, but you may have seen it in the video as well. It's the little ballerina. And they named it Nutcracker. So that was today's ball. I finished knitting it last night. And then, you know, stuffing it and finishing it off and everything in anticipation of more than likely, assuming everything went well or went according to plan today, going into work. And that was one of the ones that I wanted to gift. So I thought, well, if I could get it done. So basically yesterday I kind of got 2 done. Then if I could get it done, then that would be the 7th one that I would gift to one of the girls in the office, which I did. So it was just like all the others, a very super fun knit. This one, if you notice in the picture, I'll post it again here for a little bit. There is a lot more white. It was mostly white with just the red ballerina. Again, 4-sided, 4-paneled ball. So that one went much quicker. I think that one only took me a couple hours plus whatever the time was for the finishing or whatever. So that one went super quick. Adorable, just like all the others. And of course today on their podcast, Arne and Carlos talked about their love of the Nutcracker, the ballet itself, and memories of going, and the fact because of the pandemic and stuff that this was kind of the first year that they traditionally weren't going to get to go to see the ballet. So, but discussed, you know, options. And if I had to guess, there is probably several ballet companies that are probably putting things on YouTube this time of year. And I think even, it seems like PBS, I mean, they live in Norway, so their television broadcasting, things that are accessible there are different. But I was going to say here in the States, I think the public broadcasting system, PBS, always puts on the Nutcracker at some point during the holidays. And here's a note, if you don't PBS, you should, because everybody wants to see that. But there are like movie versions, and I vaguely remember as a kid there was like a cartoon version or something too. So anyway, so that was kind of the story for today, which was, you know, as always, really nice to just hear some of their thoughts and reasoning for designing the balls that they did, and that ballerina was very, very fun to knit. So I enjoyed it, and I hope the coworker of mine that got it will enjoy it as well. So, all right, so that's a little bit of how my morning went. So the rest of the day went pretty well. Switching from one Advent to the next one, we always go over my Katrinkle Stitch Marker Advent Calendar. Today is, you know, day 15, and Katrinkles, as I always try to mention, is a Notions tool maker for mostly knitters, but pretty much anybody in the fiber arts, out of Rhode Island. And I opted this year, instead of doing a yarn Advent, which most people are doing, I opted for her Advent instead. She had a couple of different ones. She had a Notions Advent calendar, and then she had a Stitch Marker Advent calendar, and I think both of them you had the option of either the Stitch Marker, I know you had an option of a 12-day or 24-day Advent, which I opted for the 24. The Notions one may have been 12 only, but I don't know, there may have been a 24 one. And man, I bet those people are excited and jumping up and down every time they open one. So I'm just excited with the Stitch Markers because they're very innovative and clever and unique and colorful and just so different, every single one of them. So I'm always glad to open these with you guys. And so today's, we're going to open and see what this one is. We've had so many different ones so far. It's always kind of interesting because from one day to the next, you never know. Oh, and we got another similar to, I think very early on, like the second or third day, a 1-inch ruler. I hope you guys can see that. I hope that's coming in clearly. A 1-inch ruler, stitch marker. And as I mentioned before, these are great for like socks and mittens and hats and stuff, because if you know you need to do a 1-inch cuff on a, ribbed cuff on a sock or a mitten or something, when that stitch marker when that stitch marker reaches 1 inch, it's time to start your regular round. So yeah, this is great. I think the other one, if I remember, was pink. I wonder if I can find it in here. I'm keeping them all in this container for right now because, I think I feel it. Yeah. So yeah, the other one was pink. So now I've got two. I've got a pink and I've got a neon yellow. Woohoo! That's exciting. Very, very, very cool. These are really clever. I mean, this is kind of one of those things where you think, a stitch marker is a stitch marker. But no, this is, I dropped the wrong one. These are actually multi-use tools. This is actually really, really, really exciting. So I'm really, really happy to see that, that she's included more than one of these. And knowing me, speaking of, I was, every time I make these balls, I've been keeping a progress keeper that I made, the little cardinal. I kind of showed those kind of early on too. Just kind of on the first panel, the first, just kind of marking the first stitch of the round. So that way when I knew, especially when the pattern repeated 4 times, I didn't accidentally, because there were a couple of times I accidentally did it a 5th time, not paying attention. Or you might actually have 2 or 3 rows that repeat exactly the same. I think the ballerina one was like that today. So it was always nice to have just a little progress keeper there just to kind of remind you where the start of that row was. I always had the tail hanging at the bottom for a while, but the further you moved up the ball, the harder sometimes it was to keep that straight. So the point of all that was to say that my cardinal progress keeper, I think, is lost in our couch somewhere. I think I've lost it. I don't know what happened. The ballerina one, I came in here to look for it to do the ballerina one last night, and I couldn't find it, so I just did the ballerina without it. But I've got to find it. I don't know where it is. And before that one, I don't remember what the ornament was, so I don't know if it's still hanging on the previous ornament. Then somebody at work hopefully does not have my progress keeper. I truly am thinking I took it off, and normally I clip it like on the zipper on the pull, just as a way to secure it to something until I'm ready to use it again, and I don't think it caught. So I think it's in our couch. But anyways, again, all of that to say, I'm glad I've got more than one of these. Because I could see myself, stitch markers are so easy to lose. Previous story told. So having 2 of these, especially, like this one's really bright. You could probably see this one in the dark. This pink one, not that it's not bright, but it's a little more, it kind of matches, my skin tone a little bit. I could see losing, or not realizing you set it down and then not being able to see it. This one, you'll always see this one. I mean, you could be, out in the woods by a campfire, knitting and see this one. So that's very nice, very clever. Like I said, I'm really, really, really grateful that she comes up with these really ingenious, clever notions for us knitters. So, okay, so that's that. The next thing I'll talk about is my 12 Days of Stitching with Black Needle Society. Yesterday I mentioned that I kind of cheated a little bit and opted, instead of working on a either the second day of a started project or starting a new project, I opted to work on a third day of something that, you know, we're only supposed to work on things for 2 days. So I kind of told you all that I'll probably try to make it up in some way. So this is day 4 from yesterday, but this is where I wanted to be on day 4. So I'm really, really happy, because that means this towel is getting close to being done, so I can get it wrapped, because this is a Christmas gift. So I'll put pictures here of kind of my start. And I don't know if I mention this every time, but in case you're wondering, this is kind of my own design. Somebody a while back, and it may have been in a Facebook group or something, mentioned that they like to design and grid their cross-stitch patterns in Excel, which I thought was really clever, because all you're working with are squares, basically. So they said basically, you know, they adjust all the columns and all the rows to, like, you know, 1 point width and height, or whatever it is, to make that square, because it's not 1 and 1, it's like 1 and 2, or 2 and 1, or something like that. But so basically what I did with this towel was, I knew the number of I approximated by measuring the number of rows and number of columns on this towel. So that way I could basically lay out the design that I wanted to do, and hope that it would fit. And I think it will. I mean, at this point it better, because I've done the border now. But I hope that this looks the way I intended it to look. So after putting a couple of pictures here just to show you my progress, I am actually completely done with the border. So I started over on this side and just worked my way across, and I got done with the other side today. And I think I've mentioned previously, the dog colors are basically the colors of the recipient's pets. You know, I used straight black on this one, used kind of a tan. I think this is like, I wanted to tell you guys, like 443 or 463 or something. Hold on a second, because now if I don't say it right, then I'll feel really terrible, and I'll have to correct myself later, and that won't be good either. Sorry, I was well, no, that is not right. There, okay, 435. That's what I'm using for the tan dog. And then, as I also mentioned previously, the third dog, I'm holding a strand of black and a strand of a dark brown, which I believe is this one right here. This is the 435. I had to handwrite that one in because I messed up the sticker when I was putting the floss on the bobbin. So 435 for that one. So yeah, basically those colors match her dogs. And so then the next step, this is already day 4. I'm hoping 2 more days I'll be done with this. So the next step is I've got a paw print charted that I'm going to kind of, center on either side, and then their family name will be in the center. So, and then it'll be done. If I show it again on here, what I may have to do, because if she happens to watch this, if she happens to watch this at this point, she hadn't figured it out, I'm a lucky person. But once I do get the name on there, though, I will probably just take a picture and blur it. And you guys can see the finished towel, but you won't actually see the name of the recipient, just so I can hopefully keep a little bit of surprise remaining for her for this gift. So So that was my stitching for today. I didn't do anything else. I talked about yesterday whether or not to just work on that and make up 2 other projects later, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing, because that I want to get that done. So after I've stitched for a couple of hours on it, I don't feel like picking up another project. So yeah, so that will probably be, I'll devote 2 more days to that. And then, like I said, between Christmas and New Year's, I will make up those two days projects and do something, like I said, I've got some stuff that's not Christmas but winter themed, and then I've got some stuff that I wanted to do that wasn't holiday, seasonal at all. It was just, patterns that I'd bought recently that I wanted to do. So yeah, I'm really happy that's coming along, and I'm almost done with it, so that's exciting. Okay, so next, I'll kind of briefly mention, because I have pretty much every day now for the last few days, I did another oven mitt today, but like everything else in this particular vlog, I'm going to have to post a picture. I needed to get some gifts out in the mail, or in this case UPS, even though I was watching I think Stockinette Zombies today, and one of them mentioned that people are starting to figure out the post office is really slow, and so people are starting to use other carriers too, like UPS, and so UPS is starting to get bogged down. So it is what it is, right? That's kind of, I think that is the official motto for 2020. It is what it is. I hear everybody using it, or saying it. But anyway, so I had to get a couple of these packages in the mail. Fortunately, one of them is kind of going here locally, so it will probably get to them, before Christmas. The other one is actually traveling to the West Coast, so I've just kind of let them know to expect it and sent them the tracking information, and told them they would be very lucky if they got it before Christmas. I mean, I purchased the postage, the shipping, with a 3-day time frame in mind, but who knows, 3 days this time of year, especially this particular year, might be 5 days, might be 6 days, I don't know. So hopefully they get it. So anyways, the oven mitt you see is for a friend who's a nurse. She's a very, 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 very close friend, and she's been through a lot these past few years, not just because she's a healthcare worker, but just because she's this was a major career shift for her in the last 7-8 years, something like that, and she's still trying to find her foot, well, not her footing. She knows, she's a smart cookie. She knows what she's doing. She's just trying to find where she wants to be, what she wants to do, and being a healthcare worker alone is exhausting enough, and especially in a year like this. But yeah, she's been through a lot this year, in particular herself. So I wanted to do something kind of nice for her. And as a matter of fact, I don't have a picture of them, but she, a couple of years ago, had talked about, she had seen somebody made some of those soup bowl cozies. Like, they're like quilted, but they're meant to basically so you could pick up a hot bowl of, not really just soup, it's chili or anything, and not burn your hands. So I made her a couple of those too. I think the oven mitt fabric is some of the fabric I used, but they were actually 4 different fabrics, because I thought if she wanted to turn them inside out and have one fabric on the inside versus the outside, she could do that. So, but anyway, so that was in the mail. That was one of the things I mailed off today. So I hope she gets it before Christmas, and hopefully she'll be super happy with it. I'll let you guys know. So anyway, so that's kind of everything for today. So other than that, I think the other thing, which is kind of a new thing for this particular vlog, I actually got some mail today, if you guys want to see it. On the note of the post office being slow and UPS and all that kind of stuff, I have several things, like we get notifications from like UPS and FedEx and the post office every day, or whenever we're going to have shipments, to expect shipments. And I have 3 that I know of, things that I was notified last week that they were going to be in the mail, and I kept tracking them and kept tracking them and kept tracking them, and they would just say that they're sitting at a distribution center somewhere. So fortunately, everything I have left that I need, other than some like household items, are just like personal. Like, I have not purchased any gifts through the mail. I haven't ordered, if I order anything else at this point, I know I may not see it till January. So, and I'm okay with that. In addition to that, I've ordered some things that just the person that they were coming from, her orders were stuck somewhere, those kinds of things. So, like I said, I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me. I'm not in any hurry. None of these things I need right now. A couple of things I have plans to do something with them, but nothing for Christmas or for the holidays or anything. I mean, everything that I've got stuck in the mail somewhere will get here when it gets here. So I'm kind of okay. Well, it just so happens that one of those things came today. So, I wish I could tell you who the, I'm almost positive I heard of this company from someone else on YouTube, but I couldn't tell you who. I watch everybody from the Grocery Girls to Gigi Made It to Cozy Up Knits to Stitch in the High Notes to Sweet Tea No Shade to The Bearded Pearl to Needles at the Ready to Chevrel's podcast. I mean, I will watch anybody and everybody. Woolen Vine, Woolen Knits, Stress Knits. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. So, anyway, but I am going to credit one or all of those people with showing these, and I just had to go out and get them. And not only did I have to go out and get them, I had to get 2, because I knew this was a once an opportunity kind of thing, and I may never see this again. And I don't have FOMO. I don't have fear of missing out on anything, but I do get a lot of post-purchase envy of other people's purchases. And a lot of times they're either limited editions, or they're a small batch, or they're only going to be done once. And so I sometimes see things and I'm like, if I don't get that, I'm going to regret it. And this was one of those things. So the company is Turtle Purl, Purl, and they're on Etsy. And these are self-striping sock. They are they're called striped turtle toes. They are 75% superwash, 25% nylon, 100 grams, 450 yards. But what she has done is she has dyed the yarn to be self-striping. The strands were dyed together, so you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute, to create matching socks that can be knit 2 at a time. And she basically, what she has done, and I want to kind of show you this if I can first. This is the stripe that you're going to get with this yarn, but she splits them up into 2, upside down, 2 skeins. So you're getting 50 grams in each skein. so your socks will match. So for those of you who get OCD about starting the next round and making sure your stripes match, because I've got some lollipop yarn and it's already kind of freaking me out a little bit because I got to make sure I end on the correct color when I start the toe, or I'm going to have to clip off enough to start, the next sock, But yeah, so essentially that is what it's going to stripe up to be. And I just think that's so adorable. Just so cute. But like I said, I couldn't get just one. I got two. But I know that she has dyed these two to match, and she has dyed these two to match. So basically, I don't have to worry about, as long as I keep the skeins together, knit a pair of socks at a time and don't try to do, juggle 2 pairs at a time or something crazy, I will get my striping rainbow socks. So yeah, I couldn't help it. What I can't decide though is, my original thought was, well, I know I'm going to want a pair of rainbow socks, but do I want to gift the other pair to a friend so we can have matching socks? Or what I started thinking about the other day was having a pair of like fingerless gloves or leg warmers. I don't know how much, maybe boot cuffs. I have large calves, so I don't know that I could get a full leg warmer. It might be like a short leg warmer, like a really long boot cuff or something. But yeah, something matchy maybe. Or I don't know necessarily that hat is what I want. But so yeah, so now I can't decide if I want to be greedy with my purchase and keep both of them to myself. So, but those are all decisions to be made in 2021 because I am not knitting on those right now. So anyway, so that was the little bit of mail I got. If I get any more, I'll let you know. The only other thing I was expecting today, but it'll probably come tomorrow, is the rest of my red and white yarn. I've got enough to do today's ball, or technically tomorrow's ball. I've got enough to do day 16, that ball, but essentially, after that, I may be in trouble. So hopefully that yarn will come tomorrow and I won't be like scrambling, trying to get the rest of them knit up, or try to keep up, like doing 2 at a time or something at the end because my yarn's late. But it's coming from a local shop. A shop that's just a couple of towns over. I debated whether or not to order it to go pick up, but I don't like getting out of the house any more than I absolutely have to. So, okay, well, with the added bonus footage from my work this morning, this is getting really close to the end. So, I'm going to leave you now. Thank you for joining us as always. I really appreciate you guys that watch, and like the video if you like it, and leave any comments if you've got any questions. I got a little more stuff to cover today, so I'm hoping I get everything in the comments that I need to. Also, I haven't ever mentioned it before now, but the fabric, most of the fabric that I buy for like my oven mitts, that I've shown you, if you have any interest, I can go back through. Just about all of it I've bought, I think, from Etsy. There might be a couple of exceptions, but I'll try to track it down if you see any that you're interested in, and I can try to let you know where to look for it. So, as always, be patient and be kind with one another. It's the holidays, and we will see you guys later. You guys have a great evening or great morning or the rest of your day. See you later.